Okay. So in this course, we'll be going from the scratch. You don't need to know any programming language or anything to initially start with
Okay.
this. Okay. So let's start with our agenda. Today we'll be seeing the basic things here. So what is software testing and challenges? Why do we need to go for Selenium and its advantages? And what topics we'll be covering in this course. Okay. So let
Yeah.
me start. So any idea what the software testing is? You can speak out whatever you know.
Just
Yeah.
checking code, error-free software.
Okay. So before going to software testing, I wanted to understand from you what is software.
It is like
It is nothing but set of programs, right?
right.
Software is nothing but
Yeah.
set of programs. What is a program?
ప్రోగ్రామ్ అంటే
Set of
ఇది కోడ్
instructions.
Exactly. Set of instructions, or it can be code. Okay. Collection of programs. Collection of programs
ప్రోగ్రామ్
is called a software, right? Collection of programs which are used to perform multiple tasks. Okay. Say for example, let me take an instance. ATM software. Okay.
Yeah.
How many programs does this ATM software contain? It will contain withdraw. It will contain pin change,
డిపాజిట్
deposit. It will
Spend.
బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎంక్వైరీ మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్
change pin, and all these. It collection of these all is considered as ATM software. Clear? The main purpose of implementing software is to decrease human burden, right?
Yeah.
These softwares can be designed for entertainment purpose. You have many kinds of software in this, which are designed for entertainment purpose, which are designed for the purpose of storing data. Okay, nothing but automating a manual process is called a software. Clear? Calculator is a software. Can't we do this calculation? We can do this, but we have automated this process. A bank process. Can't we go to bank and deposit money, and can't the human take this? Human also can take this, but we have automated this process. Nothing but automating the manual tasks is called software. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Say for example, coming to this software, we have majorly two wings in software. Can anyone tell me what are the two major wings that we have in software? First one was development,
Development and testing.
డెవలప్మెంట్ అండ్ టెస్టింగ్
and second one is testing. These are the two major wings that we have in software. Say for example, you purchased a mobile, and in that um, you will generally purchase a mobile with respect to some specific features or something. So in case the feature does not work, so the client will the client or the customer who is using that will get frustrated, and and the brand loses its brand, right? The product loses its brand. So to not to make this brand lose, we need to go with testing. Okay. We have different kinds of testing, different types of testing, different types of testing.
టెస్టింగ్
So what are the types of testing?
మాన్యువల్
Is divided in
ఆటోమేటెడ్
exactly functional testing,
Automation.
and other one was non-functional testing. Okay. So what comes under functional testing? So generally, the softwares or the manual thing that you use to test the functionality of the application, the functional behavior of the application, it comes under functional testing. They are manual testing, automation testing, and API, or these days it is also called
What,
as web services
what's
testing. In these three kinds of testing, your major is to check the functionality of the application. Okay, and you have some other wing called non-functional testing.
performance,
Exactly,
load?
performance. So load, scalability, all comes under performance testing. And the other one was security testing. Okay, so in this course we'll be learning about automation testing. Okay, the main objective of testing is to deliver a quality product, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, manual testing. So what are the general challenges that you face in manual testing?
Designing the test cases, test steps.
Designing the test cases, test steps, and these all has to be done in manual or automation. But the main challenge that you face was retesting,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
See, for example, you have this Facebook. Client had implemented a new functionality. Okay. Client had implemented a new login functionality. So what do you do when client has implemented this login functionality? You test with valid scenarios. So what are the steps that you generally, can you name me the steps for this login? So what do you do to test this login?
Uh, yeah, we'll open the browser.
Launch URL.
Uh,
Okay. Second step.
yeah. Enter the URL.
Yeah. Enter username on a high level. Third,
Enter
enter
password.
password.
Submit.
Click submit. So this is a test case. So for this test case, we can have multiple scenarios. So what do I mean by multiple scenarios? You can test it by using multiple positive and negative ways. Okay. Say for example, you give a valid username and a valid password. Result has to be positive. Valid username, invalid password. Result has to be negative. Valid use Invalid username, invalid password, valid password, invalid username, invalid password. Got it? For a simple login case, you need to test for four different test data. Okay. Say for example, if it is a large application and you have hundreds of test data, for a single test case, you wanted to test hundreds of test data. So then the best approach is to go for automation because test case remains same, but the data varies. This is called retesting. Retesting means executing same scenario with different sets of data. Clear what is meant by retesting?
Yeah.
Okay. In automation terminology, this is referred as data driven. Okay. What is meant by data driven? Test case is driven by data. Clear?
Yeah.
And the other challenge that we face is retesting, regression testing. So what is meant by regression testing?
So we usually do when there is any fix
Yeah.
provided on the software to
So
check the existing functionality is working or not.
exactly, we'll make sure that the previous functionality is working as per the requirement or not, or it has broken. Okay.
Yeah.
Regression testing is the process of testing the application with a new change or bug fix may break the other part of application. Clear? Okay. So this is the other area where we go with automation. Okay. Say for example, every application generally, when it goes for a maintenance phase, you'll be having 100 to 500 regression suit. Normal a general application will have ranging from 100 to 500. So manually testing this for every build is a tedious task. So such kind of test cases we'll be going with regression testing. We'll be going with automation. Okay. And the other thing that we can go with automation is smoke or sanity. Okay. Say for example, I need to run a set of test cases daily, a repetitive task. So those test cases can also be done using automation. Okay. Clear? What kind of test cases can we automate now? Finally, we can automate
That's it.
retesting scenarios,
Regression.
regression scenarios, and
Smoke.
smoke or sanity scenarios. Okay. So this regression also can contain end-to-end cases. Okay. You can generally the companies or we would be automating only these scenarios. We will not be automating the present scenarios which are in the current build. So generally what happens, automation will be a build lesser than the current build. Automation cases that we automate will be current build minus one. So generally what they ask in interviews, so so generally will you automate the current build cases? No. First, a round of manual testing has to be done. And when we write these test cases manually, we'll be prioritizing the test cases. We'll be giving priority one, priority two in the traceability matrix. So, based on the priority of the test cases, we would be automating the current build test cases in the next build. Got it? Getting it what I'm
Yeah.
telling you?
Yeah. Understood.
You will never automate current build test cases. Current build test cases has to be done manually. And and the next question they would be asking you is what kind of scenarios would you be automating and how do you know that? So what we need to answer is while writing my test cases, I'll be giving priorities. We would be giving priorities in the traceability matrix. Based on the priority one test cases, we would be automating only the priority one test cases. Priority one test cases contains the functionality of the design document. We'll be getting a design document in that the specific functionality of that would get automated. Clear?
Yeah.
The exact functionality we would be automating. So now coming to this coming to the types of applications. So can anyone name me how many types of applications we have?
Web application. Standalone.
Standalone application,
Web.
web application, and we have other thing was mobile applications. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the three kinds of applications we currently have. What is meant by standalone application? Do you want me to go
Yeah,
slow or
this
am
will
I
be
going
installed.
fast?
No, this is fine. This is fine.
Okay, okay. Kranti, what about you? Hello. Okay. So the standalone application. So what is meant by standalone application? It is, in
This
other
will be
words, it is
installed
also, yeah. In other words, it is also called as
exe file
desktop application.
desktop.
Okay. Standalone application is also known as desktop application. Okay. See, to use this desktop application, you don't need to have internet, right?
Yeah.
And the application that is installed on your machine is called as standalone application. So to use this standalone application, you definitely need to have your machine with you, right?
Yes.
So can you name me some of the examples of the standalone application? VLC media player, MS Office,
Office.
Notepad. Okay, so these are some of the standalone application. Standalone application in the sense you need to have your PC with you to work with these kinds of applications. Okay, so these are called standalone applications. And the other application was web application. Here the software will be deployed in server. Here we will install the software on our laptop or desktop. Here the software Here the software is installed in the server and you only need to have a browser to access it. Any laptop or any desktop you can access it from anywhere, but the prerequisite is you need to have a browser to access it. These are, in other words, these are also called as internet applications. Okay. And the example of this was facebook.com or gmail.com, any web application, or gmail.com. Okay. And you can
Yeah.
clearly know what is this mobile application, right? The applications which are present on your mobile are nothing but mobile applications.
Apps.
So what exactly that does Selenium automates? Will Selenium automate a web application, or will Selenium automate a standalone application or a mobile application? Where exactly do we use this Selenium? First of
We
all,
use all the three.
yeah, Selenium. What exactly is Selenium? Selenium is designed only to automate web applications. Using Selenium, you cannot automate desktop applications or a standalone application. You cannot automate mobile applications. So this will be written in the Selenium official website. Okay.
Okay.
When we go to the official, what is the official website? Seleniumdev.com. Selenium. Okay. Just with type. So this is the official website of Selenium. Selenium Dev. So when we open this, the first statement that you get is Selenium automates browsers. So what kind of applications works on the browsers? As I told you, only web applications, right?
Yeah.
Selenium automates browser. That's it. So Selenium can only be used for automatic web applications. Are you clear with the point?
Right.
You cannot automate desktop or standalone application. You cannot automate mobile
Mobile.
applications using Selenium. Okay. And the other thing, is Selenium a paid tool or a free source?
Free source.
Free source. It's an open source tool. Do any one of you know the difference between a freeware and a open source?
Open source is like anyone can modify, considering this as a base code, and they can add or tweak the code.
Exactly. What is meant? What is this free source? Freeware.
Freeware, I mean, there doesn't have any license to use that.
So freeware is something. Say this Catalan Studio. In Catalan, you have two things. One is freeware and the other one was licensed version. So what happens in freeware is you will not get the source code. You can only use it. But coming to the open source, you will be getting the source code. So you can change the source code, play with it, or can develop a new feature and can contribute to them. All you can do, the complete source code is present. So this is called open source. You can use it and the source code would be present. And the freeware is you can only use it. You cannot develop new features and you cannot contribute to them. And the business logic is hidden completely. Clear?
Yeah.
So both can be used for free, but the major difference is freeware you cannot build on the top of that, or you cannot see the business logic which is designed. And this Catalan Studio is nothing but a wrapper on the top of Selenium. So as Selenium is a open source, this Catalan Studio took the business logic from the Selenium and has built a wrapper on the top of that, and they built some UI on the top of that. Just a second, can you give me a second?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? చెప్పండి సార్. పెట్టేయండి సార్, పెట్టేయండి సార్. ఓకే సార్. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Deepak.
Yes, sir. So did you get the difference between a freeware and open source? So
Yes.
Selenium is a open source. So who developed Selenium? Any idea? Jason Huggies. Okay, Jason Huggies. It is developed in 2004 at ThoughtWorks. ThoughtWorks is a company. So we have this company here as well in Hyderabad. On the top of this KFC, Citibank would be there, right? On the top of that, we would be having in Gachibowli, ThoughtWorks.
Okay.
So the other thing was Selenium is a collection of different tools. It is not a single tool. It's a collection of different tools. So what are they? Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selen- Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Okay. So this RC previously before WebDriver, this RC is used, but now this RC got deprecated. Deprecated in the sense no support available, and they removed it completely. So why did they remove this? Previously what used to happen is Selenium used this RC remote control used to have a server, and this server used to change the JavaScript engine present in the browser. But days has changed, and these browsers have become more secure. So this browser stopped this JavaScript change engine to change the code inside that. So this RC is no more supported because of the security issues. So they came up with something, a new kind of architecture completely, that is WebDriver. This RC is currently deprecated. So when you open this Selenium official website as well, you will find only these three components. You will not find RC because it is deprecated from the past 5 years. Okay, so these are the
Okay.
components: Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, and Selenium Grid. So what are the components present in Selenium? Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, and Selenium Glue.
Great.
Previously, we used to have RC, but this is deprecated due to the security issues. Okay,
Yeah.
so clear with these all. Selenium is
Yes.
an open source. It is used to automate only web applications, and these are the components present in Selenium. Okay, so let's see some of the advantages of using the Selenium. In other words, these are also called as features. Okay, the first major feature why companies are going for Selenium is open source. You can freely use it. This is the first advantage that companies are going with Selenium. And the other major advantage is supports or
Java.
works in all operating systems. This Selenium works in Linux, Selenium work in Mac, Selenium work in Windows. It's the same. So Selenium work in almost all operating systems present in the market. And the other feature or advantage is it supports multiple browsers. Okay, you can run your test cases on Chrome, you can run your test cases on Mozilla, you can run your test cases on Edge or Opera. It supports multiple browsers. So how can I know the browsers present, which all browsers it supports? So when you go to this downloads, you'll have this .exe file for all browsers. See, Firefox it supports Internet Explorer, it supports Safari, it supports Opera, it supports Chrome, it supports Edge. Almost all the major browsers it supports. Clear? You can know this
Yeah.
information. Say for example, if a new browser comes and if you wanted to know whether Selenium supports or not, you can know here. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other major advantage of Selenium, where no other tool in the market does, is supports multiple languages. So, what do I mean by supports multiple languages? You can write the Selenium script in Java. You can write the Selenium script in Python if you are good at Python. You can write the
Yeah. Ruby.
Selenium C sharp. You can write with Ruby. You can write with JavaScript. Okay. So I think there are a couple of things as well. Perl, I think. So we can know that by using this language bindings: Ruby, Java, Python, C Sharp, JavaScript. Okay, these all languages are supported. In
Okay.
whatever language you are comfortable with, you can write your code in that language and use that. Okay. This is the major advantage of Selenium. In this course, we'll be going with Selenium with Java. And the other major advantage of using Selenium is it is easy to integrate third party tools into it. It easily allows to integrate third party tools. Third party tools in the sense, say for example, Selenium does not have many of the features. Let's take on the other side of Selenium, third party tools. So this disadvantage in the sense Selenium does not support. So the major disadvantage, Selenium does not support desktop applications. Okay, say for example you will be having some kind of web applications, say for example Naukri. So Naukri, you have something called upload. It is a web application, but you have one or two window based actions as well. Upload. So what is this use? This is used to pick a resume from your desktop, right? So these features Selenium does not support. So to overcome this, we will integrate Selenium with some other thing tools called auto it or Sikuli or robot class present in Java. By using any one of this, you can perform the desktop actions like this. simple desktop actions. Say for example, your web application takes simple actions like picking some files from your desktop and placing it somewhere on the web application. So you can have it by using some tools called AutoIT or robot class or Sikuli. So this you can easily integrate with Selenium. Though Selenium does not support web application, you can get that feature from some other application and you can automate that. Clear?
So are
And the,
these third-party tools?
it not get you, Sagar.
You mean to say these Auto IT and Sequoia are these third-party tools, or
Yeah,
these are any plugins?
no, they are third party tools. They are different tools. Robot is an inbuilt class present in Java. So we'll be seeing that by using robot class. And you have some other tools. Auto IT is a different tool altogether.
Okay.
So altogether it's a different tool, but you can integrate this with Selenium because this is also a Java tool. Selenium is
Okay,
nothing
so
but
we
a
have to install this on our desktop or laptop.
no. Selenium does not require any installation or its integrated tools. Anything does not require any installation. So it's
Mm.
just a jar file.
Okay,
Just a
got it.
jar file with all classes and interfaces. So you need to know what to use when. That's all. You don't need to
Right,
install
got it.
anything. Got it?
Yeah, yeah.
So this you can integrate such kind of things. And Selenium does not have, by default, Selenium does not have reporting as well. It is majorly important to show our reports to the client or the stakeholders. What test cases have failed, what has passed. You can achieve this functionality by using something called TestNG, and we'll be using more fancy reports in this course, that is extend report. Okay, how does they look?
So all these are only jars.
Yeah, all these are jars, you don't need to install anything. Okay, so extend reports. So to get the functionality, we will be taking that jar and we will be placing in our Selenium folder. So this is how they look. So neat kind of report that you can share with the management.
Okay, customized reports.
Customized report. So we'll be seeing this in our course as well. So how do you integrate? Let's say, uh, so we'll be using Maven. I'll be telling you what this Maven as we go on with the course. So whatever we'll be using, we'll be taking the help of this jar files. Say for example,
Okay,
Selenium.
Maven is a repository of jars.
No. Maven is not a repository of jars. Maven is a build tool. What it generally does is, say for
Okay,
example, you are working with Selenium jars 3.14, and you developed all uh, uh, the functionality using the Selenium. Okay, and you gave this to someone, to your teammate, and you told them to get this code from the GitHub.
deploy. Okay.
Yeah, GitHub, and they will be pulling the code from the GitHub. Say for example, if they use 3.2 version, so what you will be getting configuration issues because you use it the
Yeah,
latest version and you developed it, and your teammate would be using something which is 2.5 or 3.0, and you would be getting, and they would be getting configuration issues. So what we generally do is we use this Maven as a build tool, so we'll place all the jars there, so they don't need to take one jar and they don't need to keep that in their build path or anything. It will automatically get downloaded as they pull the project. These jars will automatically get downloaded from this MVN repository. So this is how jars are present. Okay, we'll be keeping this code in this just Maven project, and those jars will get automatically downloaded.
it will keep on updated.
No. If we change this, it will keep updated. If we don't change, everyone in the project would be using
Same, okay,
3.14.59,
same version.
same version. So there would be no configuration issues in future or anything.
Okay. So let's say in future, if you want to upgrade the version.
Yeah, you can change here. Say for example, if you wanted to get 4, you can change here 4. So the latest 4 jars would get downloaded, and you'll be getting a couple of configuration issues, and you can resolve them.
Okay.
and you can keep the latest code in the GitHub. They would be pulling, your team members would be pulling that.
Okay. So when we upgrade this, there will be some compatibility issues with the
Yeah,
new version. So we have to fix that.
generally when you upgrade to a new version, you will be having some little compatibility issues,
Yeah. Okay.
because some classes would get deprecated.
Yes. Yeah. Got it.
So you should be making sure that you use the latest classes and the latest things there. It will not be a major challenge, but still we can do that.
Understood.
Yeah. And this reporting. Okay. So this will let you by using something called extend report. And the other thing, no external reading. No external reading in the sense, previously we have seen a login scenario wherein we want to read the data from some source or something, right? So where can we read the data? Selenium does not support anything, right? So but this we can read it by using something called Apache Poi. It is also a jar file. By using this Apache Poi jar file, we'll integrate this with Selenium. Integrate in the sense, we'll download that jar and we'll keep that in the build path of the Selenium. That's all. Selenium will get that feature. So
Mm.
this Apache Poi, and we'll keep all the data in the Excel file and we'll be reading that. Getting it?
And so Apache is this is only for reading Excel.
Yeah. Only for reading Excel.
Excel. Okay.
So you can have different file formats of reading. You can create a property file. You can read from that. You can, let's say for REST projects, we'll be reading from JSON file. So you have different file formats, but generally the industry is doing with Apache Poi. They are reading from the Excel file because it
Okay.
is is easier to segregate the data with respect to the name or something. So they are reading from Excel file.
Yeah, we will have different worksheets.
Yeah, different worksheet. And the other thing is property file as well. They will be using property file. Where exactly they go with property file is, say for example, you have a URL, and that URL contains different environments. Say for example, you wanted to change that URL. So
Okay.
we'll be keeping that in the property file. Else, if we don't keep in such kind of files, if we keep the URL changing in the code itself, say for example, if I use that URL in 10 classes, then I need to go inside the 10 classes and I need to change. But say for example, if I keep that in the property file, I can only go to property file and change there itself.
Okay.
You're getting it?
I understand. This is like our liberated environment.
Yeah. Say for example, if I wanted to run in S05 or S06 tomorrow, and I wanted to run in S07. So rather than going inside the classes and changing all here and there, I can directly go to the property file and I can change the URL there itself, so that it will work for all the 10 classes.
Yeah. Yes.
Nothing but variable. We'll be giving a variable URL is equal to some value, and we'll be passing that variable name wherever required in the class.
Yeah.
Nothing
Understand.
but nothing but your mobile phone. Variable name in the sense, the name you give to a candidate in the mobile phone. Nothing but here in the memory we give something called variable name. That's all. It's just a name. So these are nothing but external readings. In automation terminology, this is called as data driven. Okay. And the other challenge that we don't have currently, or Selenium cannot automate, are graphs and CAPTCHA. Okay, we have some of the applications that that can read CAPTCHA, but it is always recommended not to do this. So say for example, our application have CAPTCHA, and how to deal with such kind of applications. So when we have CAPTCHA, we need to talk with the developers. We need to tell them to disable CAPTCHA feature for now.
For testing.
For testing, you need to tell them to disable, because Selenium cannot automate this dynamically changing things like graphs or CAPTCHA. You need to tell them to
Okay.
disable them, and you need to do that manually. Okay. So this is the
So,
area.
mm,
Not only Selenium, no automation tool can do that, because automating CAPTCHA is nothing but violating the policy. CAPTCHA is only designed whether whether the human is getting interacted, or a tool is getting used. Okay.
yeah.
So on a
Are we
negative,
going to learn TestNG and extend report both, or only extend report?
no, TestNG automatically gives features, but we don't use that reports. But using TestNG, we'll create our test case. Say for example, and I wanted to run a test case based on the priority. Then I need
Oh,
to go for TestNG. TestNG is nothing but a unit testing framework, like JUnit developers does. The same way, we have a unit testing framework called TestNG. By using this TestNG, we will design our test cases. We need to learn TestNG for sure. But
okay.
majority of the companies don't use TestNG reports, because TestNG reports does not look fancy. TestNG reports. But we have many good features in TestNG other than reporting. So we'll take all the good features present in that, and we'll leave whatever is not good. So this is how reports get generated in TestNG.
Okay.
So these are not at all good, and in case we send this to stakeholders, we'll get fired back.
Old, very old template.
Yeah, very old template, and that too you will get the code inside that,
Uh-huh.
like this. When you get an error, you will get the code of that error, but no stakeholder required the error message to be seen. They only want how many passed, how many failed, how many skipped, and on what basis are they failed. That's all. They don't want to see
Yeah.
these all lines of code. Okay. So we'll customize that. And the other reporting we have, and we'll see that as well, that is simple report ng. For this report ng, you don't need to write a single line of code. And some companies also use this. This is a kind of simple reporting. So in this reporting, you will be getting like this: how many passed, how many failed, how many skipped, and the percentage will pass.
Okay.
So this is a kind of simple reporting. So to use this extend report, we need to write some 10 to 15 lines of code. But to generate this report ng report, you don't need to write even a single line of code. Okay.
Okay.
Some applications can use this, some application can use that, but extend report looks much fancy. Okay, it's more to you. And we'll be seeing a report ng as well. Okay. And the other thing, this is the major flaw, that we cannot automate these graphs or dynamic kind of things. And the other thing is, Selenium cannot automate Angular applications. Okay. So to automate this Angular application, you have a different tool called Protractor. Okay. By using this tool only, you can automate Angular application. Selenium cannot interact with the elements that are developed using Angular applications. Okay. Say for example, if your project is using more Angular code in that, Selenium will not work for that. You need to go with a different tool called Protractor. This you cannot integrate with Selenium, or cannot do. It's altogether a different tool like Selenium. Okay.
So, what are Angular applications?
Say for example, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. By using this, we are developing, right? So the latest trend is, say for example, if you wanted to develop applications, they will develop by using a technology called AngularJS. It's nothing but a JavaScript framework.
Okay.
So this they will use to develop some kind of web applications. Say for example, our applications are developed using Java. This Liberate, these all are developed using Java, right? And some kind
Yeah.
of this Cerulean is developed using .NET. In the same way, there is a language called Angular.
Okay.
There is a language,
AngularJS.
yeah, AngularJS. By using that, they will be developing these applications. So this meeting will end in 5 minutes. So once it's end, you can rejoin it again.
Okay.
Okay. So by using this Angular applications, so Selenium cannot automate this Angular applications. Nothing but the applications developed using AngularJS. Okay, it's a kind of technology. Okay,
Okay.
so to automate this, you have something called protractor. Okay, so majority of the applications that we see these days are Java applications.
Yeah.
And there are even applications which are developed in Angular. These days, the industry is getting migrated to this Angular JS or React JS to develop applications fast. Okay. So generally, where exactly the industry goes with Java or this Angular or these kind of things is, say for example, a web application is there. So say for example, you require less security kind of thing. So when you require less security, so they will generally go with PHP. So what kind of applications are there? Say for example, I wanted to design some training institute website. So there is no thing like higher security. I don't require any higher security, or I don't, because generally people come and they see the URL. That's all. They see what are the courses present in that or the contact numbers. Or majority of the thing will be static kind of thing, right? There will be nothing dynamic that
Yeah.
changes with respect to customer. So what is the static and dynamic? Static in the sense which is common for all. Say for example, if you log in to the training application, you can see the same data, and if I log in and I can see the same data. So these are nothing but static application. But what are dynamic application? Dynamic applications are nothing but these banking applications. Say for example, till the login screen, that is a static application for you and for me. But when I log in, or when you log in into that ICICI bank account, so that bank account is dynamic, that is related only to you. So my account will be resembling only me inside that. So they are called dynamic applications, the application which change based on the customer and they require security. So generally simple applications, when it comes to the highest majority of the web applications built on the internet, it is PHP. Majority of the applications built on internet is by using PHP. But when you compare this with the code, it's Java, because one IRCTC website is equal to 1000 or 10,000 PHP websites, right? One IRCTC website
Yeah.
code.
Yeah.
So, so this IRCTC website is built in Java. Okay, when you want security and all, you need to go with Java. Okay. Java or .NET. So generally, gaming applications will be designed by using .NET because it has more features. And where exactly is Python used? Python can be used to develop neurological programming, and you have something called data science. So such kind of applications, Python is famous. So Python is nowhere used to develop web applications. Python is nowhere used to develop web applications, or Python is nowhere used to develop mobile applications, or Python is nowhere used to develop desktop applications. So to develop desktop applications, the best language is, can you name
Java.
it? Java. To develop web applications, the best language is PHP and Java.
PHP. Java.
And after this, it comes with Python. Okay. Generally, people go with PHP and Java. To develop gaming applications,
.NET.
.NET. And to develop mobile applications,
Java.
Android. So this is built on the top of Java.
Java.
And for iOS, it is Shift. Okay. It is built using C and C++. And for embedded applications,
C.
C.